first time for 3 or 4 years here, I actually nervous before the stream.
It's been a very, very
Yeah, sure, I will. But for now, I see that no sound, muted in the chat. So just check this out, please. So, guys, can you let us know whether the sound is okay now? Well, oh my God, the chat is so fast. Oh my God. So okay, so they're telling that they can hear me, but no, not you.
Ah! I'm so sorry. Like I was saying earlier, and you weren't hearing, it's been a very, very ad hoc announcement, and we have been absolutely living on the edge of game development. The final video for the CV rework finished downloading 5 minutes ago. I haven't even seen it yet, and in the 1.5 hours that the stream countdown has been running, I have literally been building the stream in the background. So if there's one or the other little technical snafu, my apologies. Let's get to this again. So I am Mr. Conway, your European Community Manager, and with me here is Sub-Octavian. Sub-Octavian, can you tell us a little bit about, there were some, I think, rumors going around last week about potential CV rework news, and everybody's been sweating a lot on St. Petersburg. Can you give us a little bit of background on what happened?
Well, we've been working on the new prototype for CV rework for quite long, and finally we were approaching the point where we actually are able to start first external testing. Unfortunately, we're not able to make it in time for Gamescom, but like almost yesterday we had, and yeah, yesterday, I know it was Sunday, but still our guys, CV team was working hard even on the weekend. They were able to get the first stable build of the latest prototype version, and we decided to show it to you today. And also I'm very excited to tell that external testing, like super tests, will start probably tomorrow.
Okay, that is quite exciting. Now, I know all of you that are watching are itching to look at the CV prototype, and we do have the video ready for you and waiting. But before we go look at that, we wanted to talk a little bit about the philosophy and concept behind the CV rework, what we think the current problems are, what our steps towards solving those are, and you know, like go into a little bit of why we are doing this rework, because we want you to understand the background behind this decision. So I think let's start off. Let's talk a little bit about the problems with the current CV rework.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I'll be happy to discuss it. But I see that people telling that I sound like as if I inhaled some helium. Is it true, guys? Can you just let us know whether the voice is okay?
It looks as though for me, you're coming through absolutely clear, no problems.
Okay, I think that anyways they want to know details, and they want to see the video. So
should we skip? Should we do the video first and then come back to it?
No, let's talk a bit, because I really want to put the video to some context. So, like our initial concept for CVs obviously was a game in a game, like RTS-like game, strategy game inside our tactical action. And on paper, this concept was pretty cool. But unfortunately, with time, we encountered several problems with it. And the first problem is actually the difficulty of CVs. We have a situation where it's really difficult to enter the class. You have to play very differently from the core game, and the gap between new players and experienced players is way too huge. And actually, it's not just our opinion. The problem is that the class have been suffering from loss of players and not enough new players for quite a long time. So we have this really complex and steep learning curve and really low popularity. It actually comes to some hilarious statistics, like on some servers on tier 10 we have around 4 or 5% of CVs. It's really low. At the same time, we all know that a skilled CV player has enormous battle impact. I think first due to the ability to deal a lot of damage at a short period of time with different squadrons, especially on high tiers, of course. And what's more, while doing this damage, a CV can also provide recon for the whole team and cover, like, if not the whole map, but significant area on the map, effectively shutting down destroyers, for example, or preventing the enemy team from doing any like surprise attacks, any maneuvers. And this combination of low popularity and very high battle impact actually leads to the situation where we have not popular class, where we have literally only hundreds of great players on each server, which can still have a lot of battle influence. We also have problem with AA in general. So right now it comes to either you are shooting down a lot of planes if you're AA spec'd, for example, cruiser with defensive AA, or you're shooting almost nothing. And there is not much value in having medium or bad AA. For example, we all know that if we play, for example, Shimakaze, and carrier will try to hunt you with one of his squadrons, you actually won't do anything. You can just run away, but he'll pursue you. You won't probably shoot down any planes at all. And even if the planes will start to take damage, he'll just, draw them off and then continue this. So...
Yeah, I mean, I know the feeling. I don't. I really would like to play CVs, and I would like to like CVs, but from my personal perspective, I also like it's not at a point where I enjoy it. Should we talk a little bit about what we're trying to achieve with the current CV rework?
Well, we want to achieve adequate, first of all, adequate complexity curve of aircraft carriers, where we will be able to have new players slowly getting better. Of course, some of them won't get better, but anyways, those who want to do it. Actually, it reminds me of another problem I forgot to mention. It's actually the difference between automatic attack and manual attack. We don't have any scalable difficulty in there. Unfortunately, automatic attack works totally different from manual attack, and it's like not a curve, actually. It's two different worlds. It doesn't help the problem either. So we want to achieve adequate complexity curve and encourage smooth development of skill. I mean personal player skill. We also want to have enjoyable gameplay that will be attractive for more players, because it's a fact. Our game is tactical action, and we have a lot more action players than strategy players. We also want to have more ways how aircraft carrier and its targets can interact. Not just push defensive AA and that's it. And of course, in terms of balance, we want to have more integrated, better balanced class, which will be more popular, more present in battles. And by the way, there's another problem. When you have so few carriers, it turns out that actually the ships with the best AA and AA spec, they're kind of not pointless, but they're suffering from. Like if you're playing Des Moines, for example, and you spec full AA, and then you have 5 battles without seeing a carrier.
Yeah, I mean, conversely, the only sort of way that becomes useful if you division up with a carrier, and then it doesn't become very enjoyable for the enemy carrier because you have these massive bubbles of area denial where there's just a no-fly zone for the opposing carrier.
Right, and then you, for example, say, okay, I'm not going to spec my ship into AA. Then you change defensive AA into hydroacoustic search, and then you meet your carrier in the next battle. So this like underrepresentation of the class in battles, it leads to less predictable results and less predictable performance while playing AA ships, which is a problem as well.
Yeah.
So what we want to achieve, I think I explained what we want to achieve. Probably I would like to get into a bit more detail, and then of course show the video because we have it.
Okay, well, so why don't we talk a little bit about what is going to set the new carrier system apart from the old carrier system, and yeah, what the differences are going to be, because this is where the news comes in. Let's have a chat about that.
So the main difference of the new system is that right now in the new concept you can create you control only one squadron at a time. And now I'm pretty sure that most of you guys who are watching the stream are like, "What? It's not interesting. It's shit. How can you have proper fun gameplay with one squadron?" But the difference is that it's direct control now. So each carrier controls only one squadron directly with like WASD keys. You can throttle up, you can slow down. It affects the turning circle of your squadron. You probably will have additional consumables, additional skills for that, and you actually can maneuver with your squadron. And then you actually, when you're performing attack run, you actually have to maneuver around and among explosions of enemy AA. And if you actually fly into enemy AA explosion, your planes can suffer damage. And each plane has individual HP. Also, we all remember the old gameplay where you make a drop with a squadron and then it returns back. Of course, such system won't work in the new concept because it doesn't make sense. Like you're spending all your time to control one squadron, then you drop your loadout, and no, it will be different this time. So the squadron size is typically more than we have now. From the squadron detached, and this wing performs the attack. And after the attack is performed, this wing actually flies back to your carrier. And you still have the squadron under control, and you have several attacks. For example, if you have a squadron of 12 torpedo bombers, each time only 3 torpedo bombers will perform the attack. And you'll be able to actually perform 4 attack runs. Another point here is that we decided for now not to concentrate on fighter gameplay. We want players to concentrate on air versus ship gameplay, and thus fighters in this prototype actually are turned into ability. So each carrier has an option to summon fighter squadron on the location where control squadron currently is. So basically you push a button and then a squadron of fighters is dispatched. In some time they arrive to this location and start patrolling it. And as soon as they see enemy planes, they of course will pursue them and, well, either destroy or delay them. Also, we actually are working on new squadron types and type. For now, just one type of squadron, and it will be attack planes armed with dumbfire rockets. These type of planes will be very useful to either make finishing attack runs, or for example to counter fast maneuvering targets like destroyers. So the rockets won't have really a lot of damage, but they will have good chance to cause fires, and they will be quite easy to control to actually hit the target. Well, also we really what?
I was just going to say, Twitch chat is absolutely freaking out over the rockets.
Of course. Actually, we have rockets included into first prototype, so you'll see them pretty soon. Also, given all of this, we don't want aircraft carriers to be deplaned anymore. So according to the new concept, you'll have infinite reserves of planes. However, if you throw your planes into combat like recklessly without any thought and you're giving them up very quickly, you of course will have some penalties in terms of preparing your next squadron. I also want to tell you about how anti-air interacts with it, because we actually decided to overhaul anti-air as well. So close range anti-air, like machine guns, for example, their principle of work is roughly the same. So you have an area of effect, and machine guns will start shooting at planes and deal some damage, but not to a squadron, but to individual planes this time. However, we decided to introduce new type of gameplay with medium and long range AA. So basically now, long and medium range AA are leading the target. In this case, it's your squadron, and they start shooting at your squadron, and you'll see actually the explosions of AA shells in front of you, and you can really maneuver to avoid this incoming fire. And if your planes eventually happen to fly into the zone, they can take quite heavy damage. And as for the ship, right now you all know that right now you have priority click on squadron. You push Control, you click on squadron, and this squadron gets priority in terms of targeting your AA guns, and also it's dealt more damage. It's like 1.3 multiplier. We want to avoid this because clicking seems not interactive and interesting enough. And in this concept where you actually have one squadron, for example, attacking you, it's kind of pointless. So instead of this, we're introducing the ability to each ship to switch AA sectors. Right now, the prototype is that you can switch improved a fire to the left or to the right, and of course it takes some time to switch sectors. And of course, if you have a few carriers in a battle, then they can work together to try to find a vulnerable spot in your AA. So basically, we're overhauling the CVs totally. We're moving them to action, not to strategy. We're overhauling AA. And I'm pretty sure that right now it's time to see some action. We recorded a short video. Well, it's 8 minutes of CV gameplay, and you'll be able to see everything I told you about. You'll be able to see torpedo bombers. You'll be able to see bombers and even attack planes. Please pay attention to it. You'll actually see that the mechanics of attack run encourages good planning. You'll see that your aim really gets better and better if you plan beforehand. You'll see how A works, and that's it. Let's watch it.
Yes, I'm going to cut to the video. Hopefully it works. Like I said, I haven't seen it myself, so this is a first for all of us. We will see you in 8 minutes, and then we're going to go and answer some questions and have a chat about what you've seen. So be right back.
Надвигается сильный шторм.
And there it was, world exclusive CV rework. Bearing in mind, please, this is still work in progress, and balancing is yet to start. So I really like. For me, this is the first time I've seen the prototype since we, I think, last saw a video like last month, and it looks amazing. Chat is going a little bit insane.
I have to do a disclaimer though. I noticed several. Can you hear me well, guys? By the way, this time I hope yes. So I noticed like you're questioning the skills of a person who did this demo, and yes, the skills were. This player was underperforming because actually.
Was it you?
Oh no, all people who actually can play new carriers good, they are locked in the basement right now because they are actively developing the prototype. On a serious note, I want to do serious disclaimer. I noticed a lot of questions like, oh, too little damage is too huge, DDs are dead, like rockets are useless. Guys, like right now we're showing you the overall concept. The settings are not final at all. All numbers, all stats like DPS of AA guns, accuracy of AA, HP of planes, damage of rockets, bombs, accuracy of bombs, all these settings can be tweaked. Our main goal right now is to prove that this concept is good and that this concept is something we want to move further on. And this brings me to the, actually, look, do you want to know our plan for rework from now on? Probably you want. Because you like you probably will be able to test them very soon yourself with our super testers, but then we want all players who really want to contribute and participate, we want them to have this opportunity. So shortly speaking, our plan is to test this concept with our super testers for a short time, just make sure that overall it's working and technically the prototype is ready to be carried further on. Then we will all obviously ask our special clan testers and our community contributors to join this closed test, and then when we polish this concept and we'll be ready to show it to wider audience, we probably will do some kind of closed beta where every player will be able to apply and try out these. Did you notice, by the way, the attack runs, how I describe the mechanics with attack planning?
Yeah, I really like. I think that's one of the big benefits of the it rewards planning your attack ahead of time, and you can't just go and it's like, oh, I'm going to fly my planes here, and oh, I'm going to quickly jump to the right with 100% accuracy. The longer you continue your attack run, the more accurate you become, and I think that's a good change for sure.
Basically, each attack has like this pattern. So you approach your target, you initiate the attack run. At this point, one wing is being detached from a squadron. Then you have this short preparation period for different types of planes. The preparation period is different, but actually at that time you can move your aim a bit. You can adjust, and the more time you spend there, mostly the more accurate will be your aim. So we really want this to be like scalable in terms of player skill, because right now we have automatic drop and manual drop, and they're totally different. This type of attack is universal. I mean, the bad player will probably not plan too much. You'll see a ship, you turn and you start attack run immediately. You drop with, if we're talking about torpedo bombers, you drop with wide angle. But if you're a good player, you anticipate the movement of your target, you approach beforehand. You spend some time on this attack run, and then you have perfect aim, as you see, and very, very tight torpedo spread. So this is our like approach to attack. Also, you may have noticed the indicator, like it looks like fatigue indicator. I don't know. Actually, it's indicator for throttling or slowing down. So basically, changing your speed heavily will deplete this this counter, and it is being regenerated over time. You know, I watched this video again with you, and what can I say? Finally, CV gameplay resembles promo art we usually have for CVs, when you have all this A effects around you, and finally this gameplay is closer to the gameplay of other classes. I think that this should be appreciated by some players who want some action.
Yeah. So for all of you watching, right, I do hope you liked what you saw. We are currently collecting questions from Twitch and YouTube and Facebook chat. So if you have questions, please do feel free to post them, but realize that there are many thousands of you, just 2 of us, so we are not going to be able to get through all of them. But our moderators and community staff are in the chat and paying attention. Should we move to some questions, Sub-Octavian? We've got quite a few of them lined up already.
I'm sure. I have some time, and I really understand that it can look confusing or unclear, so I'll be able to answer what I can. Just keep in mind that this is really early prototype, so don't freak out.